Lesson 2, the model. So the benefits of lesson 2, this is a simple way to understand the course. Everything we're going to cover, everything we're going to study is based on one simple integrative model of learning, and that will help your development. So the model is here, very simple. We're going to focus on better absorption, so acquiring knowledge, so learning and memorizing quickly. We'll then look at how to test, question, critique ideas. We'll then look at application, so applying those ideas, applying new skills and learning. And then finally, we'll look at your growth. So in other words, how to keep developing continually over time throughout your life, learning new skills, but also adding knowledge. So creating new ideas, new techniques, so developing, innovating over the long term. So this model is abbreviated to ATAG, which is short for absorb, test, apply, and grow. A little bit more detail on this slide. So we'll start looking at accelerated learning, memory techniques, speed reading, and then to test ideas, critical thinking and questioning. Asking the right questions is one of the most underrated skills, actually. And then in terms of applying knowledge, we'll look at problem solving, decision making, mind mapping and linear mapping, and speed writing. Really interesting skill. Get ideas down quickly onto the page. And then in terms of growing your skills and ideas, we'll look at creative thinking, how to combine different levels of knowledge, and how to develop continually for the long term, over years rather than weeks or months. Now in the middle there's a yin-yang symbol, and that symbolizes the idea that you're going to develop best when you're on the very fringes of your capability. So in other words, to make the most of this course, you're going to be somewhat in your comfort zone using your established skills and knowledge, but you're going to be right on the fringes of that, developing new skills and knowledge over time. And it's when you're on the fringes of your comfort zone, just out of your comfort zone into something new and exploratory and somewhat testing, that's when you'll learn best. That's actually, evidence suggests, when you'll feel happiest, most absorbed in your work, and that's how you will grow and develop best over the long term. Also, there's some bonus material on brain training. We can develop your IQ 10 to 20 points within 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll look at some of your frequently asked questions. Now, here's a little model to keep in mind throughout this course. Goals. You're going to have goals for your learning. You're going to take action. Trust me, when you take action, when you work on these exercises, you're going to see results. In other words, you're going to see improvement in your own ability to learn. That creates positive reinforcement. You're going to feel good about that, and you're going to get better outcomes in work or study. That will then promote and motivate more action, and so on. So it becomes a virtuous circle. That idea is well worth keeping in mind. Now here, notice the star in the bottom right corner, how to retain learning. This is a key idea. So learners retain about 90% when they teach someone or use those ideas without delay. So the exercises are embedded within this course, within each lesson, to help you apply those ideas immediately, and that's why it's so important that you do those. You're going to retain about 75% of material when you practice with that material, 50% when you use it in a group discussion, 30% when you see some kind of demonstration. There's a tiny bit of that in this course. 20% from audiovisual display, 10% from reading, and 5% from a lecture, which is the most passive form. So you can see immediately that if you want to make the most of this course, you want to blend these approaches. So if you can learn something and then teach someone else, and you can practice it and apply it, that is the very best way to retain the learning and to make the most of the benefits of this course. Quick exercise 2.1, take the ideas in the preceding slide, how to retain learning, and apply them, the ideas in that slide, immediately to something you want to learn, and maybe consider teaching somebody else the how to retain learning ideas. So absorb them and explain them to somebody else. Lesson 2 summary. Do you appreciate the fundamental model on which this course is built? It's the ATAG model. So acquire or absorb knowledge, test it, apply it, and then grow and develop over time. And do you understand that as you get better on one part of this course, the other elements are likely to improve? So for example, if you absorb more material, you can become more creative. If you test more ideas, you can memorize them for the longer term, and so on. So within the model, one part reinforces and supports the other elements in a kind of virtuous circle. In the next lesson, we look at accelerated learning.